Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Vauxhall Combo Life, which is a rebadge version of the Citroen Berlingo and the Peugeot Rifter. But this is not a car. It's actually a van, but they say it's not a van, it's a car. But it's a kidnapping van. It is Europe's kidnap version of the Omni, or rather Europe's version of the Omni, a kidnap van, but that's not important. What's important, this is not a car, it is actually a cupboard.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Yes, it is a cupboard. We'll come to that in a bit. Straight away, let's open the engine bay, and there you can see it's a very Chintu Mintu engine somehow. There's so much space. You can hear the noise of the motor. It's quite loud as such, and this is extremely light. Like, the lightness is unbelievable. Even a Wagoner's hood is heavier than this. This is so freaking unbelievably light.
This isn't beach volleyball.
Okay, now some interesting bits here is that there's wireless charging. You can keep your phone here to wirelessly charge it. Just kidding. This is actually for left-hand drive markets where the wipers, they go the other direction, of course. And you can see the engine bay has so much space. I don't even understand that, because this is the biggest engine with which this particular van is available. In fact, let me show you. Here you can see the logos of Citroen, Peugeot and General Motors as well, because earlier General Motors owned Vauxhall. Now PSA Group owns Vauxhall. Super light. Let's shut this and it's done. Now the design is very plain and basic. It doesn't look that great, to be honest, and you know what, it does not get LEDs. These are all halogen lights. Indicator functioning here. This is the DRL, you can say, and high beam, low beam, fog light placement right there. You get parking sensors at the front, of course. This is for the towing hook of the vehicle. Large grille with chrome. The Vauxhall logo, which is a mix of eagle and lion, which is a mythical creature known as Griffin. So, you know what? This car actually doesn't get a camera at the front or the rear, but it actually gets a camera for the ADAS functions. Yes, it has got plenty of ADAS functions. That's kind of surprising. Now, there are two variants available. One is a regular size, 4.4 meters in length. This one is the XL, which is 4.75 meters in length. Yeah, this one is longer, so you can get either 7 seats or a huge boot as well. Again, very van-like structure, doesn't look appealing at all. The tire size happens to be, well, a 205/60/16. Again, very basic design of the alloy wheels. You can see indicator placement there. These mirrors are so big now, they make a lot of wind noise at high speed, specifically when you're out on the highway. You get antenna there. You get these hooks, 6 of them if you want to put roof rails to carry more luggage, but you will never need it. You can see the roof of the vehicle. It has got sliding doors, but the lower variant does not have a door which opens here. You can pay additional for a sliding door on this side, otherwise it only comes with one sliding door. On the other side, that's kind of weird. And high variants can be spec'd up with a lot of things, including a panoramic roof for 80,000. You can get a heads-up display, automatic parking, automatic headlights, automatic wipers. That's crazy amount of stuff, honestly. Again, very van-like structure at the rear. Huge tailgate, but very Chintu lights. So these are the lights. Obviously, everything is halogen here. This is the indicator, and I think this is for the reverse light. This is the rear fog light, of course. You get a rear wiper. This glass can be opened. Yes, not on this car. On certain variants, that's also possible. From here, it does a washer spray fluid, which is kind of down. High mounted stop lamp as well. Says Combo Life here. By the way, this car is no longer available in petrol and diesel engine options, only available as Combo E electric, that is. But whatever. Anyways, rear camera is missing here. You can see rear parking sensors. Faisal Khan's fingers of truth, hunting for the exhaust. There it is, lower down. And you know what? The structure is also a mix, but we'll talk about that when driving this car. Now, this is the real USP of this vehicle. It has a humongous boot. It is absolutely crazy. So this is more than 850 liters. If I put these seats down now, it becomes more than 2,700 liters. Absolutely next level crazy size of boot. And storage spaces, well, some storage here. There you can see the safety kit or whatever you want to call it. There's no spare wheel, I believe. Okay, these are dummies for God knows what. And that's not it. There's a light placement here. You can keep stuff here as well. Get a proper seat belt for the middle passenger as well. And there's a parcel shelf too. So I'm just going to put it back up. It's a bit of a task with one hand to get it right. Yeah, there we manage that so that you can conceal your luggage. Nobody can really see it. And then there's this hook thingy, rather strap. You can pull it and shut it. Everything is kind of light, so there's not that effort which you really require. Here is where the fuel goes. You have to actually put the key inside, twist it to open this. Here is where AdBlue goes. There you can see some specs are written. Nobody cares. Okay, these windows obviously do not open. This one slides open. Sliding door, apt for kidnapping. And there it opens. Again, it's quite light. Now here is the USP of the vehicle. Look at the amount of space. The seats are okay, they're fine. You know what? In other variants, in 7-seaters, you can also get individual seats. So 1, 2, 3, 3 different seats like how you see on the Citroen C5 in India. By the way, you can put 3 isofix seats and then you can recline this like that. Yeah, folds completely flat. You can fold that as well, and then it's a huge, okay, I'll just get in and try and do that too. And oh my god, yeah, there you see. Imagine the amount of space, more than 2700 liters. You could have slept here if this was not that hard. The unfortunate part is, because there's this partial shelf thingy and this structure there, the seats do not recline at all. So you can't recline the seat any further. That is the recline angle. You get adjustable headrest, of course. And you know what? There seems to be some storage below as well, but the seats do not slide ahead or behind at all. Here you can see AC has been routed through there because there are no rear AC vents either. Now first thing first, that there's good amount of knee room and leg room here. No magazine holders, not even scooped out as such. You can see headroom is absolutely crazy. Look at the amount of headroom for someone as tall as me. Recline angle could have been better for sure. Seats are not very comfortable, even though this is meant for longer journeys. Under thigh support is also on the poor side somehow. No height adjustable seat belt. Here there is a hook thingy. You can, hang your coat. There's one here as well. Like I was telling you, seat belt mechanism there. In fact, you got one there, and light placement here on the top. So kind of crazy, huh, this cabin. Easy to shut the wind. Okay, door, there it shuts. Now thing is, you can slide it open like this, yeah, to bring in some air. But yeah, that's not very effective as such. Okay, let me show you. Can you see it now? Yeah. So this is not very effective. They should have opening windows. Okay, now to shut this, it's a bit of an issue. So we'll forget that for a moment. The problem here is that the door pocket is not that big. It's a little bit small, but you've got a speaker here. It's got a 6-speaker system with 2 tweeters at the front. That is the dashboard of the vehicle. Again, very similar to the cars it is based on. Only thing is a little bit different in terms of the way the instrument cluster can be handled here, because it has to be very similar to the Citroen cars. Now you can also get some storage here on the top, aircraft style, similar to what is here. Yeah, there is some storage here. You can actually keep stuff here on the top. Absolutely crazy. I don't know what this is. There's this boxy thingy, but the storage here is absolutely insane. This car is not a car, it's a kidnapping cupboard. Okay, now here you can see dashboard is very plain and basic, lot of hard plastics, and that's about it. I have nothing much to talk about in this car because that's how it is. The only thing is it's convenient to open the door. Let's just shut it. You can child lock the door from the front with the press of a button. Now why am I getting in here? Okay, firstly there's a storage space here, storage space here as well. This is how the hood opens. When the door is closed, you can't even see that lever. If you want to shut the co-passenger airbag, you can do that. There's a cup holder here. Can you see that? Okay, now there's a cup holder here. This is basically for what? To keep sauce. And this is to keep fries. So you can take your fries, dip it into sauce and eat while driving. There's some storage space here. No wireless charging pad. Storage space here. There's some storage space here. Abhi langur ke haath mein angur ho gaye. Okay, you won't believe it. I'm not even kidding. I can actually remove my shoes and put my leg inside. I can slide the seat behind all the way and I can just, sit like this. That's how crazy it is. In fact, it's got curtain airbags. You can see airbag is written here. In fact, it says airbag here as well. And obviously it says airbag here as well as somewhere here. So that is the level of craziness. So much storage space, unbelievable. But that's not all. This thing also opens and the depth of this is insane. Look at this, how much depth. Yeah, that is unbelievable storage in this car. But there is some storage here as well, so you can keep stuff right there too. This is an auto dimming mirror. Here you can see there's a 12-volt charging socket, twin cup holders, some storage here. The handbrake is huge. You need another person to operate the handbrake. That is the level of size. There's actually a coin holder here, some dummy buttons for God knows what. These are the controls for the air conditioning. Air conditioning actually works decently well. It has to, because the van is huge. In fact, here you get a strap, but you don't get a mirror. But surprisingly, you get a mirror here along with 2 lights as well. That's kind of crazy. You can also hold on to here if you so wish while cornering, so you don't flip or flop. This is an 8-inch screen, which is obnoxiously huge. Let's just shut the hazard lights. This is to lock the vehicle, so yeah, it's in the center. Gear lever is nicely placed in the center again on the dashboard. Okay, but the space is absolutely crazy in this car. I wish the seats were more comfortable. There's no armrest for the co-passenger, but there's an armrest for the driver, and there is lumbar adjustment as well. You get a flat bottom steering wheel, if that's your thing. USB slot here to connect with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. So let's just get out. Like I was showing you, this is open right now, the window area, to get some air, and that just makes it better. Look at the view here. I'm near a dam here in the UK, and the weather is just phenomenal. It's unbelievably good. We are going to do one thing. We are going to get inside. There's some bits here on the driver's side as well. So you can see huge door pockets. There is space for nuts here, so you can just slot it right there. And I don't know, there are a lot of dummy areas, like dummy. I think this is for push button start on higher variants. Yeah, this does not get a rear camera, but it gets lane keep assist, lane departure warning, automatic emergency braking, adaptive headlights, driver drowsiness detection and whatnot. This is to increase or decrease the intensity of the cluster's light. This is for headlight leveling, and this is for the headlight, front fog, rear fog, automatic headlight. Again, cubby hole here. There's a cubby hole here as well, where the manual has been kept. So how many storage spaces should be there in a car? Vauxhall PSA group have been like, yes, we will give it to you. Let me get in here. Now, first things first, let me turn off the light. It says automatic illumination of headlamps activated, because when you turn it off, it goes to automatic headlights. Let me open the door. It is showing me that the right hand front door is open. You get a multi-information display which shows you a lot of things. That is for the lane keep assist, and then digital speedometer. It's showing you what's the distance to empty, fuel, blah, blah, blah. Lot of stuff. That's kind of cool. You get a tachometer. It's saying DPF problem. Basically, I need to top up AdBlue. Fuel meter, temperature meter, and this is the speedometer both in kilometers per hour as well as miles. Kilometers per hour is inset, of course. We are here in the UK right now. Automatic function here for the wipers or for the lights. I don't know. Technically, auto is right there. Auto is here also. This is the lever which you actually operate to, change the multi-information display. Here are buttons for the cruise control system. When you pay £200, which is 20,000 rupees, you can get heated steering wheel as well as heated seats. Okay, steering feels nice to hold. These are the buttons and the switches for the audio system. Easy to operate. These are the controls for the wipers. You can see the wipers work really well, but you know what's the funky thing? Check this out. The spray is coming out from the wiper. Again, just notice this there. The spray is coming out from the wiper. Magic wipers in this car. How crazy is that? Now this screen I don't like at all. It's kind of weird to operate because it's not that intuitive. I've got photos and I don't know what software they use, but it's not good at all. And then I can decide if I want the front and rear parking sensors on. It has got tire pressure monitor, traction control on and off, stop start system and all that. And then I can also get into various functions here for safety. I was telling you it has got active safety braking, attention warning, that is driver drowsiness detection, headlight control, guide me home, headlamp, welcome light and all that stuff. So that's fine, but let me get into reverse. Now when I get into reverse, check this out. Front and rear parking sensors, but no rear camera. What is this? Come on guys, you can do better, because honestly I need a rear camera for a car of this size. This is huge. But they will give you self-park, automatic parking as an option along with a heads-up display, which will take away my beautiful storage space. I don't want that. I want some amount of storage, of course. See the amount of headroom. The seat is on the highest position right now because Gagan likes to drive on the highest position, and there's so much headroom even for someone as tall as me. The window area is humongous. Unbelievable. Flat bottom steering wheel in a van. I don't know what these guys are up to, but hard and scratchy plastics everywhere in the cabin. In fact, it's got one touch up and down for all the windows, rather only the front windows, because obviously rear ones don't move. Yeah, one touch. How crazy is that? The whole spec is very different here in the UK. This is for the child lock for the rear, door obviously, and this is for the adjustment of the outside rear view mirrors. This area now makes a lot of noise because the A-pillars now, they on the motorway or rather on the highway, that wind noise comes, and that's another Vauxhall. So yeah, British people are very patriotic. Let's start driving right away. All right, we're all set to go, which means I turn on the car. There's no clutch lock. Vauxhall logo comes in the MID. By the way, it shows you who's not won the seatbelt right here. There's some lights here on the top. Steering wheel is very difficult to adjust, but it is adjustable both for reach as well as rake, which is kind of surprising. It says stop AdBlue. Handbrake down into first gear. This is still loading very slow, and off we go. I'll tell you what, this is actually having very smooth driving experience. Kya hua?
346 minutes later.
Well, I've just come to a halt abruptly. Car is turned off because of the stop start system. I pull the handbrake, nothing happens. As soon as I release the seatbelt, the car turns on. It's a very weird thing in this car. Anyways, into first gear, traction control off, and yeah, handbrake down. It says anti-slip regulation deactivated, and off we go. I'm not going to launch it at the moment. We're just going to drive a little aram se, because that is what this van is really meant for. Let me give you the background of this car. So obviously this is made by PSA, so that's why they have a lot of these badges on the car as well. But most importantly, the platform is actually the Peugeot platform, But the funny part is that only the front part of the platform is Peugeot's latest platform. The rear one is the commercial vehicle platform. They did it so that, at the front they have to put the sensors for ADAS, which is mandatory. So that's the reason it's like a hybrid platform of sorts. Steering wheel doesn't really require much effort. It's very light. But the only problem is that over bad bumps now, the steering actually vibrates when you're cornering hard. Something similar to what happens in the Renault Duster. Steering is light actually. This car does not feel its weight. It doesn't feel, difficult to drive at all in spite of the heaviness that it has. But yes, it's a very wide cabin with humongous windshield. So huge. So basically, they came up with a petrol engine, they came up with a diesel engine as well. Petrol engine is the same one doing duty in the Corsa. It's a 1.2 litre unit, which is 3 cylinders and turbocharged. That engine is actually pulling a car as big as this. Surprised? Well, don't be, because the thing is that it produced 108 horsepower in the lower tune and 128 horsepower in the higher tune, giving it good enough performance. But then, they say diesel is a diesel, which is true, because in diesel also there are two options. It's a 1.5 litre diesel, again shared with the Corsa. The lower tune is 100 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque, which is the one we are driving right now. The higher tune happens to be 130 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque. That's a lot of torque, honestly. And that is actually faster by 1.7 seconds. Look at that, red line at 5000 RPM, engine becomes quite vocal as well. So yeah, the thing is that 1.7 seconds slower is this car, because this is the 100 horsepower with 250 Newton meters of torque, made it to only a 5-speed manual gearbox. With the more powerful engine, you get a 6-speed manual or a 8-speed automatic gearbox. You can see there's some amount of movement because obviously body roll is in plenty. But oh god, yeah, yes, the car does move a bit over bad bumps. The only thing is this area, okay, makes a lot of sound at motorway speeds when there's wind blowing, unfortunately, because the mirrors are like humongous. You get a good view of what's around. You get more than the view you need, because just the mirrors are so huge on this vehicle. It's absolutely crazy. Gearbox is slick shifting, but you know what, has slight amount of notchy feel, with mostly Peugeot and Citroen cars have. And the clutch is okay types. It's not light, it's not heavy either. It's well calibrated. You get used to the heavy clutch, but I find it a bit on the heavier side. Braking performance is fine, but the unfortunate part is there's a lot of nosedive under very heavy braking, and this is not a car you would do heavy braking or panic braking. Although we have got automatic emergency braking and forward collision warning, lane keep assist, lane departure warning. We've got all these ADAS systems, which is quite surprising considering this car actually does not get a rear parking camera. And yeah, I can feel the roll around the corners, but the steering is light. This is actually a car which is a van basically, but doesn't really drive like a van. It drives more like a car. That's the reason why they call it a car. So it's the time we have been waiting for. Here we turn off traction control into first gear, revving the motor, revs to 2500 RPM. There's a soft limiter and off we go. No wheel spin. First gear, 45 kilometers per hour, 5000 RPM, red line. And there it has turned on the traction control. So yeah, these people do not let you keep the traction control off at all. So 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes 13 seconds in this car, 0.3 seconds faster in the 4.4 meter version. By the way, this actually replaces the Vauxhall Zafira, whatever, that's a weird name. I don't even remember, I don't even want to remember it. And the price ranges between 24 to 28 lakh rupees. So it's actually on the affordable side considering the kind of space it has to offer and the level of practicality. So poor handling, which is something you would expect. Decent performance, in fact low end lag is well contained, mid range is nice, top end is completely missing in this car. And the warranty is fantastic. Not really, actually. It doesn't have the best warranty, it doesn't have the best resale, it doesn't even have the best reliability. So that's the reason they actually discontinued the ICE powered version. Now it only comes with the electric motor, which is also there in the Corsa, which is a 50 kilowatt hour battery pack, producing around, that doesn't matter how much it produces, what matters is the range is decent enough, around 280 kilometers. It charges from 0 to 80% in just 30 minutes using an 100 kilowatt DC fast charger, but mostly on the motorways I've been finding 50 kilowatt DC fast chargers. So that is known as the Vauxhall Combo Life, E for electric. You know what, the service intervals are also fantastic. It is 1 year, which is fine, but 32,000 kilometers. Yes, 32,000 kilometers between service intervals. So if you're going to run a cab business, this is a fantastic car in that regard. I can feel so much roll, I can feel so much empty space above my head in spite of being so tall. That is the level of headroom it has to offer. I think we should launch again from here. I don't like the brakes actually. Traction control off, revving the motor, hazard light off. No wheel spin, yaar. Although this car will actually do a top speed of 170 kilometers per hour. By the way, it's got only 4 stars in Euro NCAP rating, so it's not that great in that regard either. It doesn't have that mid-range pull which you would expect. Kind of feels sluggish when you have more load and more passengers on board. So I think the electric version would obviously address all these issues to a greater extent, considering the fact that that pulling power of an electric motor, thanks to that instant torque rush, should be able to manage that decently well. Here, every time you corner, you can feel the roll, you can feel the car is moving like that, but it's not that bad. It doesn't feel scary, it doesn't feel hairy. It's not obviously meant to be cornered hard or something of that sort. It's supposed to be a practical van, and trust me, it's a very practical family car, whatever. The only thing is that the biggest issue rather is that if you keep stuff in this car, there's a high chance you would forget where you have kept it, because there's just way too many cubby holes. Like, they have made it over practical. I think it has 28 cubby holes. 28 cubby holes is just way too many and kind of unnecessary as well. But they've just, like, wherever we find a space, we are going to put a cubby hole. I'm just going to imagine what's going to be there with the electric version, considering there's not going to be any transmission or any, like, more space would be available. So that would be crazier still. Somehow I think third is very tractable in this car, and you have to look like this to see around you. So it doesn't have a camera at the rear, but it has a panoramic view of what's around, and if you get that sunroof, then oh my god, you can see almost everything in the world and more. Alright, air conditioning off, and 3 weeks later the car is right now in Germany, because we have driven from the UK via ferry to France. Then we've gone to Liechtenstein, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Austria, Italy, and now in Germany and on the de-restricted autobahn. And here we go into second gear. (5,000 RPM is the red line. Engine becomes vocal in the higher end of the rev range. But what is the top speed of this car? You know, this engine is small, this van is big, there's a lot of weight, lot of our luggage is also lying behind. But can this car actually do good speeds? We shall find out right now, because thankfully it is dry at the moment. Third gear, pulling it all the way, it will easily cross 120 kilometers per hour. Now into fourth, let's get into the fast lane to do some overtakes. And okay, you hear a lot of wind noise, especially here around the A-pillar. It becomes very noisy, very loud indeed. I can't believe it's going all the way to 150 kilometers per hour in fourth gear. My right foot is absolutely buried to the ground, and now it is struggling. Top end mate definitely struggles, which means we should get it into fifth gear now, because nothing else was left. It definitely deserves the sixth gear. So what is the top speed which we can hit? It's going to take some time for this car to reach its top speed. Till that time, let me tell you about the fuel efficiency which we have got. Almost 17 kilometers per liter, in spite of driving like this on the German autobahn. If we did not hit the German autobahn, then we would have got a fuel efficiency of almost 20 kilometers per liter. That is the level of frugality this particular engine has to offer. You can hear a lot of the wind noise, a lot of tire noise. High speed stability is not bad at all, and I am actually driving at 170 kilometers per hour. My right foot is buried to the ground. Progress is extremely slow right now. Car doesn't really pull that strongly in the higher end of the rev range, so that's a bit of an issue coming into the overtaking lane. And then, you know what, because it's a bit of an incline, the speed is actually decreasing. My right foot is completely buried to the ground. That is another problem with this car. It has its own mood. It decides, ho gaya bahut, aaj mujhse nahi ho payega. It just quits. It's quitted right now. It's just not going any further. Okay, come on. Does it lock itself at 100 miles per hour? Probably it does. Okay, finally we're picking up some pace. And 170. I've actually done 183 kilometers per hour at night on a downslope. Now you can hear a lot of the wind. Steering feels a bit wobbly. Some amount of vibrations can be felt. You know, I've driven a lot higher in terms of speeds, but there's a different feel of driving a van at 180 kilometers per hour on a de-restricted autobahn. And all these people around are wondering what is wrong with this van. Why is it flying like this? It is literally flying. And I think I'm going to call it quits any moment, because 179 kilometers per hour, it won't go any further. So guys, this, oh yes, we hit 180 kilometers per hour. Come on, 2 more to go. 182 is what I've seen before, but I'm just going to call it quits. And then when you brake, you feel a lot of vibrations from the tires, wheels, from the front axle and whatnot. But overall, for a car of this size, it definitely punches way above its weight, which is quite impressive. If you like this vlog, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. just doesn't move at all. On the German autobahns now, when BMWs and Mercs fly by on the fast lane, this car in the middle lane actually shakes like this and says like, oh my god, I might just topple. With the aerodynamics of a fridge, what else can you expect? Absolutely nothing. Only just lot of wind noise, more wind noise, and it's very irritating, this wind noise. It tires the car out, and that's the reason it stops accelerating at 160 kilometers per hour with the right foot completely buried down. This car needs a 6th gear. It needs another turbo. Maybe they could put 4 turbos in this car, but the aerodynamics will never support. Bye bye. Oh, by the way, the lane keep assist actually works quite well. Look at this, the car will put itself back into the lane. ADAS functions actually work very nicely in this car, and then when I don't hold the steering wheel for some time, it realizes that it tells me you cannot have that autonomous fun here because this is a van at the end of the day. There it starts making noise saying hold the steering wheel. Kya yaar, chalao na khud se. And yeah, we can easily go. Only my one wheel is on the divider. Take it easy, dude. See? That's how it's done. So guys, this is my vlog of this absolutely boring van, but the biggest useful part of this is when people kidnap you in this van can be easily caught because obviously it's not fast enough to go away very quickly anywhere else. If you like this vlog, make sure to give it a thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye. क्या हुआ? Wrong ले लिया?
हमने उसके व्हील सेव करवा दिए